good.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. I'm Mark Franz, the village manager. I'm going to get the program started here today, this morning. Thanks for coming out with less than ideal weather conditions, but it is an Arbor Day type event. This is good weather for the trees. I think we're fine. We're actually celebrating 4 kind of unique things this morning. Of course, one is is Arbor Day and celebrating the planting of a tree for past presidents. We're reopening officially the Village Arboretum that was here for a long time. Obviously, a lot of work has gone in, and it's been a group effort to get the park rejuvenated, and we thank everyone for those efforts. I'll go into a little more detail in a minute. And then we're going to officially accept a donation from the College of DuPage, the statue right around the corner there, Conduit 15. I'll talk about that for a few minutes. And then just have a few comments about Arbor Day itself. So try to cover a few different things. But most importantly, we wanted to welcome everyone here, all the past presidents that are in attendance this morning. And I'm going to cheat a little bit with some notes here and just go through who is in attendance. Frank Wiedner is here, president from 1969 to 1973. Connie Zimmerman is here, president from 1973 to 77. And I think you kind of traveled the farthest to get here, so we appreciate you coming down from Wisconsin. Mike Fermento, president from 1981 to 1989. Probably traveled the least to get here. John Demling served from 1993 to 1997. Joe Warwick, 1997 to 2001. Greg Matthews, 2001 to 2005. And we're expecting Vicki, but I don't think she made it. And of course, our current president, Mark Pufferman, also didn't travel all that. And Mark will have some remarks here at the end of the program. So again, thanks for being here. This has been a group effort. I want to thank the Public Works Department, Julius Hansen, for his efforts in assisting to rejuvenate the park. Chris Pekarik from the Village Links and Recreation Department for his help. Kristen Schrader from my office in planning this event. And handling a lot of the logistics. I think the park looks great, and we're really excited to be here this morning. Just a few other announcements. We've got three village trustees here as well. Trustee Phil Hartwig in the back there, Trustee Pete Ladisek, and Trustee Pete Cooper. Just a few quick comments about the sculpture. We accepted a donation from the College of DuPage. Conduit 15 is the title of the sculpture, and we appreciate their donation to us. We also had an anonymous donor who helped with the relocation of the sculpture and some of the improvements you see. Sod and we've cleaned up that area led by Julius Hansen and his department. So we think it really improves the park, and we'll see if we can add a sculpture to over the years to add that kind of identity to it. The sculpture's name is Mike Bauer. He has donated it, I think, about 20 years ago to the College of DuPage. It just didn't necessarily fit in with their remodeling, so we accepted that, and we thanked Dr. Bruder and the College of DuPage for their generous donation. So we'll accept that this morning and enjoy that for decades to come. And it is not damaged. We've got a couple comments that it's intended to be that way. That's the design. That's the artistic flair that it has. So it is the same as it was as the sculpture envisioned. So we thank both College of DuPage and the anonymous donation to get it in the park. So with that, I'll turn it over to Julius Hansen. He'll give a few comments about Arbor Day itself and talk a little bit about the Arboretum. Julius?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. This outdoor celebration coincides with Earth Day, which during the village's recent Earth Day extravaganza, I was teaching some young children about the benefits of trees, something we all kind of take for granted. And I told them about, it provides oxygen, trees provide oxygen, shade, lumber, just the beautification of the landscape. And they were all very interested in that. And then I also taught them how to plant a tree. And when I was teaching them how to plant a tree, I asked them, how long do you think a tree takes to grow from when you plant it to when it becomes a large tree? A lot of them said it takes a long time for a tree to grow. And I said, well, how long is a long time? Granted, these children were very young. So they said, maybe like even 10 years it takes for a tree to grow really large. So, it's a little bit longer than that, I told them. But, they didn't know any better. They thought a long time was 10 years. Well, the village of Glen Ellyn takes pride in its urban forest. And they've had the recognition of being Tree City USA, which you can see by the flag there, for 26 consecutive years. And this outdoor celebration also coincides with Arbor Day, in addition to the Earth Day celebration. And the first Arbor Day took place in 1872. It was the idea of Julius Sterling Morton, his most important legacy. Now, he proposed that special day to be set aside and dedicated to planting trees and to recognize the benefit of trees. Now, you might recognize that name. It might sound familiar. I don't mean the Julius part, because that's very familiar with me, but I meant the Morton part, which is named after Morton Arboretum. And the Morton Arboretum is at the south entrance of the village of Glen Ellyn. And it was started in 1922 by Joy Morton, who was the founder of Morton Salt Company. And she was the granddaughter of Julius Sterling Morton, who was the founder of Arbor Day. Her Thornhill Estate was the basis for the Arboretum. And so, once a decade, the village of Glen Ellyn dedicates a tree to the past presidents that have served the village so well. And this tree has been planted. It's a red oak. The tree is, it takes 500 acorns to be germinated to produce one seedling that'll grow 1 year old. So, it takes a lot of work of Mother Nature to generate a tree such as that. It also takes a lot of work from the dedicated staff of the village to maintain all the trees. There's 14,000 trees in the parkway, and I'd just like to recognize the fact that the village president, the village board, village manager, and the public works employees all work very hard to support the trees in the urban forest of the village of Glen Ellyn. So I just want to thank everyone for that support in doing that. And I'd like to introduce Chris McCarrick with the Recreation Department.
Thanks, Julius. Just a real brief background on Panfish Park. It was constructed in 1968 as part of a stormwater flood control project, which the main part is the Village Links Golf Course. This is connected to the Village Links. 1968, it was a very Spartan area, basically a hayfield with a couple of ponds. We've been slow to improve it over the years. In the mid-70s, we planted about 50 willow trees. The past 10 years, we've been taking those trees down because they only live 25 or 30 years. 1992, the former village forester, Peggy Drescher, received a grant from the Department of Natural Resources and planted 40 trees to start the Village Arboretum. 1993, our staff put in the path system that we have through the park now, and we continue to plant trees and make improvements. The Arboretum, we have produced maps which we're going to make into a trifold brochure that will be available at 2 locations off of Taft Avenue and off the main parking lot here. I want to thank all the presidents for being here today. I didn't realize that Mr. Wiedner started in 1969 as our village president. I was fortunate enough to be a seasonal employee in 1969, so I've been here during all your terms. And I mention that because over the years I've observed that any time the village board members or the village presidents have had passion about any part of the village, it's always improved that part of the village. And so it's greatly appreciated. It benefits the residents tremendously. So we appreciate that input that you provide us. President Pfefferman has been very enthusiastic about Panfish Park, and that's why we're here today and have made a number of improvements to the park, and those are going to be ongoing, and I really appreciate that. Finally, you'll notice on some of the trees these large tags. These are part of a program that the Morton Arboretum has, where they try to inform people of the value of trees in their communities. These are the annual benefits that they calculate for different varieties of trees, and they're hanging throughout the park. Benefits in stormwater reduction, cooling cost if you have them planted around your residence or building, and it reduces carbon in the atmosphere. So if you take a walk and you see these, that's what these are all about. Okay, I'd like to turn it over to President Pfefferman, please.
Thank you very much, Chris, Julius, Mark. Great job. They also took a lot of what I was going to say. So it is you're clapping for brevity. That's good. What an honor it is, though, to stand here amongst all the great village presidents that served us and those that have showed up for this event. That's just fantastic. Thank you to the Environmental Commission. If you take our thanks back, we'd really appreciate that as well for all your hard work. Chris mentioned Panfish Park, and that's great. He's being a little modest, and I'd just like to take a moment and say that the village board had a renewed interest about 3 years ago in protecting our village assets and being good stewards of our property. And we thought this for a number of reasons. One, we value trees and open spaces. But also we thought it was the right thing to do, and also an economic development tool. If we take care of our assets, then hopefully that spreads throughout the village and attracts people. Not many villages have a village arboretum. But in the last year at this time, on Arbor Day, we reopened Manor Woods, which had been closed and had no trespassing signs on, thanks to a dedicated group of neighbors and Boy Scouts and the hard work of Chris Buchanan. He also just planted, 100 new saplings there?
They're in the shop waiting, 200.
Oh, 200? Okay.
This week.
So we're reforesting that with native plants. On July 3rd, 2011, we dedicated Ward Plaza up at historic Stacy's Plaza, thanks to all the hard work of the Glen Ellyn Historical Society and 2 anonymous donors that helped support that effort. We've cleaned up that history park and trying to make that a reality. And then today here, Panfish Park has not looked this good in years. So this is just great. What an honor it is. So thank you. Kristen Schrader, thank you for all your hard work as well. She's been involved in all 3 of this. So, with that being said, we'll invite our distinguished guests up to take a picture and have the ceremony tree. But I wanted to kind of end with this quote that I received on Christmas Day from an officer in the U.S. Army that was still in Afghanistan. Said, "I hope to see you next time I'm back near our beautiful hometown of Glen Ellyn. As I spend time in places where life is very hard, it makes me realize how lucky we are to have grown up in Glen Ellyn and the USA, and how grateful we should be even when we are having what seems to be like bad days by American standards." What a beautiful tribute to our town and our country. And it makes days like today where it's a little inclement seem like no problem, right? So thank you all for being here. Let's honor our village, past village presidents and those that served from 1889 to 1965 without this Arbor recognition. And we'll ask them to come over here. We would like you to watch if you have time as we do this. And then please help yourself to treats and coffee. And thanks again for being here. Great day. Thank you.
Okay, now everybody watch me. Mark, do you have sunglasses on or are they
They're transitional.
Okay.
You want me to take them off?
No.
Well.
If you would, everybody watch me. Connie, half a step this way. A little bit more, right there. Okay, good. Okay, watch the camera, please. We're going to take a couple to make sure we get some good expressions. Okay, everybody put their hands like this. That's good. Hold it. Okay, we'll make a change. Good, deep breath. Let it out. John, here. Not easy. Okay, we'll fix it later. Okay, eyes here, please.
I know. See, I told her that these things that
Well, his car is pretty parked in my house. Thank you. Thank you. You're all set.